What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 20 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure you join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,200 just yesterday, and another member who won $288 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to YNG Boston Boy, who said I only took marks and thank God I did. So shouts out to him, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is Draymond Green, and this one is for 5.5 assists, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Draymond Green, we've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, but as you all know, this is, some of these games, or most of them, are actually from last season. We can really only look at the most recent game, which was on October 22nd, where he did face off against the LA Lakers, and he did have 9 assists in that matchup. Now, as we all know, it is still very early on in the season, but Golden State Warriors find themselves in a very good matchup against a Western Conference rival, and that is none other than the Denver Nuggets. Now, when it comes to both of these teams, it is actually going to be Denver Nuggets' first game. They are actually the last team in the Western Conference to have their first game, so they currently actually rank last. When it comes to the Golden State Warriors, however, Warriors do rank second, having their first win against the Los Angeles Lakers. They did a fantastic job in that game, but coming into this next one, although it is still very early on in the season, we can look at preseason and also last season, as Denver is a pretty similar team. But Denver have actually done a fantastic job during the preseason and before, at actually restricting assists, especially to the forward position. Denver do like to play small ball, and that's definitely due to the fact that Jamal Murray, players like Nikola Jokic do like to play a slower type pace, and strictly as well with the Nuggets sort of game plan, they do like to slow down the ball as much as they can. That's why coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an interesting one for them, because we are expecting a little bit more of a slower pace than Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors are used to, and it could definitely lead to the under for this situation here. When it comes to someone like Draymond, not only have we seen him do a fantastic job so far this season, but we also do very much like the under, due to the fact that when we look at the matchup here, that he is going to be going up against some really, great defensive big men such as Jokic and others. And, with that being the case, we are definitely expecting a lot of pressure there. Now, when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Draymond Green, 5.5 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about the other matchup, which is none other than OKC versus Indiana. So this one is a championship, sort of rematch, and this one is actually for Aaron Wiggins for points and rebounds. So this one's actually a combo for 15.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, as I mentioned before, this is obviously a rematch between both of these championship contending teams from last season. And looking at this matchup, we do know that he's gone on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. But most of the games were actually from last season. If we look at only the games from this season, we did see on October 22nd, he faced off against Houston and only had 11 points and rebounds there. Now, when we look at this matchup, we do know OKC faced off against Indiana, and looking at where both these teams do lie, we did see Oklahoma City Thunder actually win their first game. Now, currently, they rank 7th, but they do have the same record as any team above them. It is pretty much due to for and against at that point, but Thunder were able to win their first game. Similar to actually Pacers when it came to Denver, Pacers actually haven't played their first game just yet. So this is actually going to be their first game. And, currently because of that, they are currently ranked last. Now, coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one, but a big reason why we do like the under for this situation here is when it comes to Aaron Wiggins, what we also saw against Houston, we saw that his usage rate isn't really high enough to reach these levels of 15.5 for points and rebounds. Wiggins is a great player, do not get me wrong, but when it comes to his usage rate for this Oklahoma City Thunder team, we have seen other players in this Thunder team just provide a lot more usage rate out there, which has definitely affected Aaron Wiggins greatly. Now, on top of that, we do also know, yes, OKC do face off against, a team with Indiana, and OKC do have a couple of injuries. However, we aren't really seeing it, actually increase the usage rate of Aaron Wiggins, but it actually does increase other star players in this OKC team, and we did see that being very evident in the matchup against Houston. So we are expecting a similar sort of outcome coming into this matchup, no doubt about it. So I would definitely keep an eye out for this one. When we look at Indiana actually did a fantastic job, especially during their championship run when they faced off against OKC during the championship series, but also in preseason and last season, Indiana actually did a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. And with the fact that Aaron Wiggins doesn't have that high of a usage rate, we are definitely expecting the under for this one. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one for Aaron Wiggins. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have a favorite for the under as well. So Aaron Wiggins, 15.5 points and rebs for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Christian Braun. So Christian Braun, great player, and this one is none other than actually 13.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now, when we look at Christian Braun, we've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one's an interesting one because obviously this is actually going to be Denver's first game, so all of these matchups are actually from last season. But what we do also know, Denver face off against the Golden State Warriors, which we've mentioned before. We've also mentioned that Denver, this is their first game, and Warriors have already played their, first game, which actually ranked them second. But coming into this matchup, a big reason why we do like the under for this situation here is that they face off against, the Golden State Warriors, and Golden State Warriors actually showed a lot of promise when it actually came to their defense. Now, Golden State Warriors are a little bit of a different team from last season, but we've actually seen them got better defensively, coming into this season compared to last. And looking at someone like, Golden State Warriors, we are definitely expecting the under for this situation here due to the fact that when we actually look at someone like Christian Braun, we do also see that, Denver face off against Warriors. Warriors actually did, in their first matchup, hold Lakers to 109 points. So they actually rank third when it comes to points allowed. So they've actually done a fantastic job there. And we are expecting them to do that to Denver Nuggets. And the fact that Christian Braun, unfortunately, isn't really, the highest scorer or the highest volume shooter for this Denver team, we aren't really expecting Christian Braun to be able to make it to this line. Warriors have definitely turned the page and becoming a more, great defensive team due to the additions that they have had. And with preseason, they definitely showed a lot of promise defensively, and we are expecting them to bring that out into this next one for sure. So for that reason, I do very much like the under for this one. When we look at someone like Christian Braun and this, pick, we also do see when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that actually works out in our favor there. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one. So Christian Braun, 13.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Andrew Nembhard. Now, as you all know, Andrew Nembhard, great player for none other than Indiana Pacers. And when it comes to Indiana Pacers, we do actually know that Indiana Pacers, this is going to be their first game of the season. Now, so Nembhard's stats, as we have seen, is actually from last season, but he did average 10 points, 3.3 rebounds, 5 assists, and a 45.8% field goal percentage last season. So he has been a real big addition in a sense of, his scoring prowess, rebounding, and playmaking. But coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be interesting because they do face off, as we all know, against Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, when it comes to Thunder have actually played their first game already. They did get a win over the Houston Rockets. But as you all know, when it comes to both of these teams, we do also see that when it comes to Thunder, they currently rank 7th, but they do have the same record as every team above them. I think it does just come down to for and against, but Thunder are currently undefeated with 1 win already under their belt. And when we look at Thunder defensively, even though it has only been, one game played for a lot of these teams, we do actually see when it came to Thunder defensively, we did actually see them rank 20th when it came to points allowed. On top of that, assists allowed, they do actually rank 11th. And then also rebounds allowed, we also see that the Thunder ranked 26. So unfortunately, it didn't actually rank too well when it came to points, rebounds, and assists. And that's why coming into this matchup, we are definitely expecting, someone like Andrew Nembhard to be able to do very well and be able to actually go on the over on his lines. Now, when it comes to Oklahoma City Thunder as well and Indiana, both are very, very fast-paced teams, and we are definitely taking that into consideration, which is why we do very much like the over for a situation like this. Indiana like to play fast, and although they may have a couple of injuries and have also lost someone like Miles Turner, we are expecting Nembhard to definitely have an increase in his usage rate coming into this season compared to last season for sure. He's definitely solidified his spot as, a right-hand man to a lot of players in this actual Pacers team, but when it comes to Nembhard, we are expecting him to take advantage of the poor defense of Thunder from game one and also the fast pace that both of these teams will play at. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for his line. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially if the line is under his averages. Now getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about AJ Mitchell from the same matchup, but obviously different player and different team. AJ Mitchell plays for Oklahoma City Thunder. Now we have seen him do a fantastic job in his first game, of the season with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and also shot 50% from the field. So he did a fantastic job there. Now when we look at Oklahoma, we do know they face off against the Pacers, and Pacers are actually, or this is going to be their first game. Now coming into this matchup, similar to what we've mentioned before, although it is Pacers' first game, when you look at the preseason and also, last season, we do know Pacers do a pretty poor job defensively when it actually comes, to someone like AJ Mitchell's play style and also his position. Now, although we did have the under for actually none other than Aaron Wiggins, the reason why we do actually like the over for someone like AJ Mitchell is due to the fact that he does have a little bit of a slightly higher usage rate than actually Aaron Wiggins. And we are expecting AJ Mitchell to be able to take advantage of this. Now, when it comes to AJ Mitchell's line, it may be very different, compared to Aaron Wiggins, which we mentioned before. He did have 16 points in that first game, also had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. So, the pressure on him to perform and to perform at a very, high stat level isn't as high. And because of that, we are still expecting him to be very undervalued, which is why we still do like the over for this one. So, I think a lot of people are sleeping on AJ Mitchell coming into this season. He is going to be playing a bigger role, and he did show that against Houston, which was a very, very tough team. So we are expecting someone like him to be able to come into this matchup very undervalued by the bookies and be able to go on the over for this one. So I definitely would keep an eye out for the over for this one for AJ Mitchell. Now, as I mentioned before, keep an eye out for the line first, and if the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Jonathan Kuminga. So Jonathan Kuminga from the Golden State Warriors has done a fantastic job, averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, he has shot 54.5% from the field as well for the Golden State Warriors, and he did a fantastic job in his actual first game because you saw him get 17 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds, while also shooting 66.7% from the 3. So he actually did a fantastic job for his team in that matchup, and they did actually end up getting that win, which puts them in the second spot in the actual NBA for the Western Conference. Now, coming into this one, we do also know that they face off against a Denver team that haven't played their first game yet. Now, obviously, coming into this one, we do know Denver are a pretty slow-paced team and actually do a great job defensively. But for someone like Jonathan Kuminga, we actually expect him to go on the over here. Similar to someone like AJ Mitchell, we are expecting that he will be coming out a little bit undervalued as always, as Warriors do have a lot of stars like Curry, like Jimmy Butler, like Al Horford, Draymond Green. But Kuminga is actually going to be a massive stepping stone for this team moving forward. And that's why we are still expecting him to be very very undervalued coming into this next one. He beat his line, very, very well in that Lakers matchup, and we are expecting him to do the same, as it does take some time for, obviously these lines to adjust to what their averages are going to be like. But we are expecting coming into this one, of course, he faces off against Nuggets, but Jonathan Kuminga, his usage rate does remain high, and it is very evident that the Golden State Warriors are running a lot of offense and running him at a position where he's comfortable and he's able to put stats on the board. So we are expecting him to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over in this one. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for Jonathan Kuminga and keep an eye out for the over. We do very much like that, but as I've always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line. If the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon, great player, as we all know. Now, this one is a fantastic one. But Aaron Gordon has actually averaged last season 14.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and 53.1% field goal percentage. So he has done a great job last season. Now, this is going to be their first game against the Golden State Warriors. And looking at Golden State Warriors, we did actually see that they actually ranked third when it came to points allowed, as we've mentioned before. They also ranked sixth when it came to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they also did rank sixth. So Golden State Warriors have come out very, very highly defensive team. And that's why coming into this, we do actually like the under for someone like Aaron Gordon. Now, when it comes to Golden State Warriors, the way they do like to run defense in the past and like how they ran against Lakers, they don't actually like to focus in on stars. Obviously, Denver have players like Jokic, Jamal Murray, and others. I would call Gordon, more of a Robin to their Batman. And because of that, Warriors tend to actually play very high pressure D on all five players. So we aren't expecting anyone to kind of be able to take advantage of that. We are expecting the Warriors to really come out, play their great defense, and try to slow down Aaron Gordon and this Denver Nuggets team as much as they can. So we definitely see that affecting them greatly. So that's why coming into this matchup, we do very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Aaron Gordon. So definitely keep an eye out for him, especially this is his first game, so it will take some time to adjust, but we definitely do like the under for someone like him.